Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you are enjoying these videos, and I wanted to talk to you about these two stamp sets and thin cuts. They go with In Full Bloom and they are amazing. I knew I liked them, but I didn't know that I would just be over the moon with them. So hopefully you've got yours ordered already. If you haven't played with them, by all means, play with them. Let's have some fun. The thin cuts just are so fun. So let's get creating and have some fun with these cards, okay? So we're going to start with, of course, I'm going to use In Full Bloom paper because I'm obsessed with this paper pack. And we're just going to do a full sheet that's going to cover it. So 5.5 by 4 1/4. So let's anchor this down. So just like that. Then I wanted to showcase the lemonade on this card. I know I've created a lot with the glacier. So I wanted to show that there's another version. Now this is the full on lemonade. You can see it's a little bit in your face. I like the more subtle. That's what is in this paper. And just so you know, this is 2 1/4 by 5. So 2 1/4 by 5. And then I cut another piece of the pattern paper, and we're just going to lay that on top. So we're just going to, oops, don't like the way that laid down. So let's lift it up really quick. Try it again. I think I'm going to put it straight up because I'm going to cover that. I think that's what I did when I cut this. Yep. So, still a little wonky. All right. Quit fussing with it. Okay, so there is the tag. And then I'm going to add here a little of the butterfly. And I can't quite decide if I want it just to overlap the tag a little bit. I hate cutting a butterfly off midstream. It just goes against what I need, what I want there. So let me just trim this up a little bit. So let's anchor this down. Get this, make sure I have this kind of even. There you go. And then let's anchor the zip strip over the top. Now, if you don't like it over the, you know, if you want it to be matchy-matchy, by all means, let it be matchy-matchy. That don't bother me. They're your cards. You can make them. This is just a suggestion. So you have that butterfly theme going through there. Man, does that look crooked. It might be the paper that's making me think that it's crooked. Okay, press it all down. And then I took the this stamp and I cut it out on white daisy, and I stamped it in black. And I wanted to show you how cool and how you can make this just super special for any color you want it to be by just sponging. So I am going to stay with the lemonade. So we're going to take a sponge, and I have it on scratch paper because I want to start here and not in the middle of my, I don't want that poof. Can you see that poof there? I just want the soft color. And I start in the middle and work myself out. So whatever works for you. I just find that my ink is usually darker when in the middle, and so I want that depth, and this going really faint on the edges. And now I'm just going to really darken up that middle just by rubbing more color on it. Okay, so what do you think? You like that? Let me show you up close and personal. So that just brings that lemonade into focus on this card. And let's go ahead and add some foam tape to this. Just using some of my leftover pieces that I had. So I hope you tell people about the videos. I mean, they're, share them with your friends if you have other people who like to craft, and, they're just hopefully information and get your creative juices going and get you excited to play with paper. So we're just going to offset this a little bit, just like that. And then I'm going to this is an older stamp set, a little sentiment, but I liked the happy birthday in this one. I wanted something that was more smaller, but yet not, I wanted a mix of fonts, if that makes sense. So I'm just laying them on my Versamat, and I'm going to grab a block here really quick. I think that happy needs to come down just a smidge. Sometimes I have to play, oh, good golly, that's not good. So let's put it back on my Versamat here. Get it lined up the way I want it to be. Yeah, there's better. And I'm just going to, and I am going to do this in charcoal, which is a dark gray. I just want to make sure, so I'm going to take my scratch paper here. Yeah, that's what I want. And so I have the birthday sentiment there, and easy peasy. And then let's add, what should we add here? Let's try I'm gonna just put my stamps on my carrier sheet with these small ones. If I don't put them away, I have a tendency to they get lost on my desk. Let's see if I'm not really sure if they'll work, but let's try the Cake Day dots. They might be, no, I think the yellow will work perfect, because it's a softer yellow. It's not as bright, and boy, my fingers are bad. So let's add come on, nothing's working this morning. There we go. We're just going to tuck them around that flower just to enhance that little bit of lemonade color. And I'm just using the small ones. You could definitely use the bigger ones if you wanted. But I think it just kind of pops and gives it a little bit of a look to it. Fussing with this. All right, there's the first card. Quit fussing. Let's continue to create. Okay, so the next card I am doing is, again, and if I don't know if I've said this when I did the first card, I'm using the value pack. So I took that sponging technique that I did on the flower, and I did it to the front of the card, okay? And then I cut this thin cut. Let me grab it here. So I used this thin cut, minus the butterfly that's there, but I used that thin cut, and that's why I love this stamp set. And I mounted a piece of the pattern paper behind it. Now on this, I wanted something soft, and this is the actual die is more 5.5. I had to trim it. So you probably want to do it, you probably want to cut it out with your machine, then add your pattern paper to figure out where you kind of want to cut it, because otherwise you might have one that doesn't have that look. This way, when you cut it and it has a little bit of an edge to each side, it carries that strip across, if that makes sense. And then I took some fun pieces that I had left over, and I cut some patterns together. And let me, and you pretty much, you can do 1.5, 1.25, 1 and 1 inch, 3/4 inch. You can use zip strips. You can use whatever you want as far as the size. There's no real rhyme or reason. It just kind of depends on your pattern paper and what the look you're going for. So again, I'm just playing with these. Now, if you wanted, you could definitely trim these up. Yeah, you can definitely trim these up. And I'm going to take a little bit off of this one. And so you can make whatever size that you have work for you on what pattern you're going for. Does that make sense? And then see, this film strip's going to go over there. But you definitely could have trimmed that up. That would not have been a problem. Okay? And so let me put the film strip on there. And just like that, voila. And then I did cut the butterfly. And I stamped it in black. And I'm just going to take my alcohol marker. And I am just going to draw some lines just to add that color. And this alcohol marker is the Aqua Blue blend. And I'm just kind of carrying around the edge. Nothing fancy. If you have not tried these markers, they are amazing. You have a light, which is what I'm coloring with right now. You have a medium color in the same, and then you have a dark. And there's many different ways that people color with this, so it's kind of depends on which rule of thumb you guys fall into. Some people like to color everything with the light like I'm doing today, and then go over with the other colors, because the more color you add, the more intense it's going to be. Okay, and I am just going to do that and put light here. Then I'm going to take the medium, and I'm just kind of just fingering it out just to add some depth. Just so that some of that light will come through. And then where this is dark, I want to make sure it's dark. And then I'm going to come over the top with the dark. Just to give it that added punch. So voila, just like that, you have your butterfly. Now you could go in if you found like you didn't like there was too much white showing or not enough of the blend. I mean, you can go in over the top, but I just wanted to have something that we could put some foam tape with. I like bending in the middle. It gives a little dimension. I know it's hard when we're mailing cards to people, but it gives you that fun look, and then it still gives you an opportunity to put a sentiment if you want, or you just want to send someone a card. Okay, so there's your second card. Okay, let's do the next card. So we're going to, this piece here is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to mount this on top of a piece of our white daisy value pack. And it's going to offset just a smidge, but I know it's hard to see. Maybe if I do it this way. I'm going to build on this before I add it to my card. So I have a piece of white, which is a smidge over 2.5 to 3 3/4, and it's going to go right here in the middle. So we're going to put that evenly. And then I have a piece of pattern paper, which is, again, a smidge over 1 3/4 to 3 3/4. And so I am leaving a gap. I'm not butting it up. Okay, so it looks like that. And then I have some shimmer trim that if I measured right, it should fit. Oops, almost cut that the wrong way. It should fit on there perfectly. Oh, stuck to my finger. And the one thing about shimmer trim, it does not, it's not like you can, oh, lift it up. Well, maybe you can. Went too far. I just kind of want it in the middle as a little showy piece, if that makes sense. There we go. So just like that, your black shimmer trim, okay? And then I still took these flowers right here. I stamped those. And I did a single one also. And I did this one, I stamped them in the light-sided glacier in black ink. And then I paper pierced the striped, so I had some contrast of the leaves. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does to you guys. And I also want to give this a little bit of a raised look. So I'm just adding a little bit of foam here. Good golly, everything is sticking today. I think I have a piece that can go right here from a leftover project, because I want it to raise up a little bit. So let's do this. Take the tape off, maybe. Well, it's stuck to my finger, but now it won't take the tape off. Figures, huh? Okay. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment really quickly on here. And I am using the Operation Smile Big stamp set. And I can't remember. Oh, yeah, this one here. Remember, when you have thin ones, you want to make sure and peel them slowly off the carrier sheet. Nope, that block's not going to work. And because I know I haven't used this one, I'm seasoning it by rubbing it on my hand really quick. And then inking with some black ink. And I'm just, because this is a new one, I want to make sure I like the way it looks. Oh yeah. I'm just using one of our little black cubes that come in the card kits or the scrapbooking kits. So we're just going to add a little bit of firm pressure, hold my paper and lift up. Yes, I love it. Turned out cute. I love this stamp set because $7 of this stamp set, the purchase of this stamp set, gets you, goes towards Operation Smile, which helps third world countries, children with cleft palates. So it's a really cool use of that. And then here's my single. And I am going to, I forgot to do this, but I am going to do it now. I'm just taking some Glacier ink and I'm just sponging color on color. Let's see if I can do it on here without too much trouble. But it just gives a nice little, you can see the difference between one that isn't sponged and one that is sponged. And these finger daubers are the best for that because you can really add intense color. So just like that, and let's do that. So it gives you that little pop, and then we're going to add another little dot to this one. And I'm just going to put it here. And then we will attach this to our card. And let's see if I can do a little surgery here. Don't know if I can since I have this and I pressed on it when I put that on there. Well, but you get the gist of that. Now let's add some, if I have any more of them, yep. Add some gold gems, sparkly gems, to a couple of the middle of the flowers. And I'm just going to do 3, but you get the gist of that. So hopefully that's a new technique or something new you learned on that one. So, okay, so that's our third card. Our last card, we are creating with, this time I wanted to do mink. Mink is one of the colors that is part of this paper pack, or this paper suite, I'm supposed to be saying, paper suite. So you're going to take a regular 5.5 by 4.25 card, and then you are going to cut 1.5 inches off the edge. Okay, so you have this look going. So 1.5, just cut 1.5 off. So this actually leaves this as 2 3/4. Make sure I have that correct. Now, if you did more, that's fine. You're just going to have to adjust the other paper cut. So I took a piece of black cardstock, and this piece is 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, and I did a small little 1/4 inch, yeah, a good hefty 1/4 inch. I scored it and had it ready to go, and I'm just going to put this in the middle as best as I can, and you want the tab to go on the inside, and it's easier to do it this way. Hard to do it when I'm used to leaning over. You want it flush to the edge of your cardstock, or the end of your card, okay? So like that. Let me get that off. So you have that edge, like that. Then, we're going to put a piece of white daisy or pattern paper in your inside. Now, this is what happens when you don't season a stamp set. I tried to stamp it again and it got wonky. So I redid it, stamped it, added some fun stitch lines. This stamp set is part of our, and I thought I had it right here on the, oh, yep, I do. It's this Slimline Quotes and Sentiments, and it's a smaller one, but you have these cool sayings. This is another really great one. So I'm going to go ahead. So as I always tell you, see, you just flip your paper over. We all do it. Some days our stamping is better than others days. And that's why you want that hinge down first, so that you can put this over the top, okay? So let's take a piece. I took a piece of the Full Bloom, and it's 2.5 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to attach it to the middle of the card. No. So we're just going, oh wow, stick. Okay. We're just going to put it evenly in the middle of that. And be careful when you use a pattern paper that you make sure your pattern's going the right way, okay? And then I have a piece of the diagonal green stripe, and I'm going to lay this, and I didn't tell you the size of this. It's 2 3/4 by a smidge over 3 1/4. And depending on what, size you make your tag, probably depends on what your centerpiece is going to be here. Then I did the same thing. I cut that flower out and I sponged it in Glacier. So I am going to only put some in the middle because I know I'm going to tuck something in on this. And the nice thing about the flap is, yes, you have your sentiment over here, but you can still write and no one sees it. It's still a private card. So we're going to go like this. And then I'm going to take one of the die cuts that is part of the In Full Bloom. Absolutely love these. You don't want to miss out on these. They are amazing. And voila, like that. Oops, I got too much sticky on that part. Oops, let me get my eraser. Forgot what I was doing. Just taking my eraser and moving the adhesive off that so it doesn't stick. Yep, that's better. Okay. And like that, that is your card. So let's look at all 4 of these cards again. So voila, how exciting is that? Hopefully, can you see them all? Let me get them over here more. Great fun, great, makes you smile. I don't know about this paper. I hope this paper pack makes you guys smile as much as it makes me smile. I absolutely am thrilled with it. We did some sponging. We did some sponging with the lemonade. We sponged with the Glacier. We sponged with the Glacier, and we colored with a marker. So you can get these items all on my website. Don't forget to go out and look at them. Bye, ladies.